To get this process started, you're going to need your poly tubing 1/2 inch. You're going to need your 1/4 inch drip line. You're going to need a cutter of some sort. I just utilize a little clipper like this to cut down your line. You're going to need barbed tees or elbows, depending on how you want to do that. So you've got a tee here, you can see, we can put it in there. Hose goes in here, we can run one line out here, you can run another line out here, depending where your hose is coming out of the ground. Or we've got our L here where we can add if we just need one line running down the garden bed. For this application, because we have asparagus and we have tomatoes, I'm going to use 2 different kinds of watering tips when it comes to these plants. The first for the asparagus is going to be a bubbler, and it's going to be a small amount of sprinkled water in a circular direction. The second is going to be just a direct drip. This will drip 1 gallon per hour on the base of the tomato plants. And to install these, what we're going to have to utilize is we're going to have to start by attaching our 1/2 inch poly tubing, and off of that, we're going to have to use our 1/4 inch poly tubing for the drips. When you need to pop holes into the new line, go ahead and get yourself a little tool that you can put your piercing tip here and jam it into the poly line. So we've got our existing line here coming out of the ground. We've got our tomatoes here. Our asparagus is just over there. And I think I want to have to cut this thing down so I can throw the T in there. So I'm going to just clip that thing off right there. And then I'm going to just literally take the barb insert and I'm going to jam it into this thing like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my poly tubing. So I've already kind of pre-cut this poly tubing to fit, not perfect, but a little bit longer than the bed. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm literally going to clip that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just throw that guy on this side like that to get over to this tomato here. Then I'm going to clip this thing and attach it as well to reach the remainder of this garden bed on down the line. So now you got to come over here to this end and you've got to put on this little closure device that you can get with these gardening kits, and you've got to slide one of these guys on there, get it down there, and then bend this tip back, and then bring this back onto this other end and kind of press it on there tight. Make sure it's real pinched in that V area. That way your water doesn't just come spraying out of there. The reason you have these on your irrigation is so in the winter time you can winterize your system. You pull that off, you open the hose, and you make sure you get all that moisture out of there so you can keep these good for the next year without cracking and bursting when it comes to the cold, icy season. So now to insert this here to add drip line, because you want to go this direction, you've got to take your little barb that goes into the 1/4 inch poly, put it in your little pressing tool, set it in there, and then literally just push it into the tube and pull it out. And then you can attach your 1/4 inch poly and your drip right directly to your tomato. Just like so. Now you've got yourself set up with your poly line, you've got your drip on here, the one you want to use. You just simply go ahead, take that line, and you attach it right here to that barb that you inserted, and you go ahead and you just put it right to your drip, right there at the base of the tomato where you want the water directed. Now that we've got our tomatoes drip system set up, we've come on down the line to the asparagus. This area is going to be more spread out with the sprinkling, so we're going to go ahead and utilize, to start with, these bubblers that will actually sprinkle out in a circular motion. We may move to a more broad sprinkler after this, determining if this is going to be the best fit or not. But for this application to start, here we go with those. one thing to remember is to go ahead and take your 1/4-inch poly tubing and put it onto your bubbler first before you start. Get them on there, 1, 2. So that way you're ready to go. You kind of give an understanding of how you're going to lay it out or whatever you want to do there. So then when you've got your setup ready to go, take your little tool, your barbed in, and go ahead and find where your asparagus is at. So right here we've got a little sprout coming up. We're going to go ahead and pop one of these guys right in the line here. Twist it in there and pop it in. Sometimes it can be a little tough, so just don't think you're going to pop it right in instantly all the time. They also make a lot of these barbs with really sharp tips. That's really helpful to have. And then once you've gotten that in there, go ahead and just take that other end of the line and press that sucker in there. Right over the barb. You don't have to get too aggressive with it. Once it gets on there, it will definitely work and you won't have leaks everywhere. Remember to always kick on your system to make sure that it's going to be working properly. You don't have any spraying going on. You don't have any of these barbs popping out or anything like that. And then you can come in here and you can adjust your bubblers. You just twist the top of these. Now, if you take it all the way off, it's going to squirt all over the place. So don't do that. But you can see how it kind of comes out like that. This one's not quite open. So we need to go ahead and open that guy up. Make sure it's opened up a little bit more to get some more water out of there. And then come on over to these drips right here. And you can just see that water dripping right down to the base of your tomato plant. That one looks good. And then this one over here looks pretty good too. It's a little shaded, but you can see the water dripping down there on the base of the tomato. Now that you've completed putting in this addition to your garden with the irrigation, you won't have to worry about whether or not your tomatoes, your asparagus, your potatoes, your strawberries, your garlic, whatever you're planting are getting the water that they need. You'll find that this is very efficient, beneficial to you. There's a little bit upfront cost to adding the irrigation system, but down the line, it's so important to have, and it makes your life so much easier. If the bubblers don't work well for this application, they make many different type of sprinkler heads. They make different kind of spray heads, drip heads for any application that you could possibly think of. So find yourself looking through the different options, find yourself looking through ways to make your garden better by adding different kind of sprinklers, different kind of drips, and saving yourself money on your water bill, saving yourself stress with time, and keeping your garden alive and fruitful all season long. Thank you for watching our video. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like. Till next time, take care.